Hello, it's another rainy day in Seattle. Welcome, Group A. So, touching on some of the energy that came out here, you could perhaps be an Aries, or you can have Aries in the 5th house. For your tarot cards, we have the Page of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Cups. Now, if you were drawn to this group, it feels as if for some period of time, perhaps, you could have found yourself just waiting for things to happen and feeling somewhat of an outcast. So perhaps in your social group, you're seeing your peers go and do certain things, or particularly these are love messages. So definitely create families or certain long-term connections they have established, and you notice that you're kind of like left out of the fun, or you're left out, or you're the odd one out. Let's say during group vacations, like everyone's coupled up and you may find yourself being the only one that's just kind of alone, or perhaps you just do things by yourself. Like, so you could just take yourself out, and you may see other couples when you go out. And this, for some of you, this could have just been a period in time in which you're experiencing this, or for a portion of you, this could have been going on for some time. So quite some time. So it's just like two different groups within this group. So for your love messages for February, definitely this feels as if it's highlighting more self-love, because I do see where you are kind of in a spiritual time out, or you're taking this pause to reflect. And especially I'm highlighting this face your shadow, time to reflect on maybe not so the most positive characteristics that you may have, or you're opening yourself up to how do you receive love and support from others without it coming with a bit of trauma of the past or resentment, so on and so forth. So I'm going to read a little bit of what it says here. It says, you are a beautiful being of light and love, and the rest is an illusion. Believe in your basic goodness and lovability, and let love in. This is really encouraging you to open your heart and look at those spaces that perhaps are a bit dark, or have caused a bit of negativity or damper in how you view even loving yourself. So as it says here, now is the time to acknowledge your fear and bring your inner darkness into the light of self-love and acceptance. It just feels as if you could be looking out into your future, and you feel as if you've just been in this waiting period. Like, when am I going to get married or have this happily ever after? Or when am I going to be able to go out? And you may have this vision board in place where you have it all scripted, or perhaps you are on your Instagram reels and you're seeing places that you would like to visit with a person. And this is really encouraging you to look at how whatever this pause is, what perhaps contributed to this pause. Maybe in terms of your radical approach, or how you could have shown passion or expressed yourself to others. I do see where others are observing you at this time, observing this pause. And during this, I would look into maybe your approach to situations and how certain things really led to you getting to this point. Definitely it's encouraging you to do so. And also, you're just in the period where self-reflecting is perhaps needed, and looking at how you express love and how that is mirrored in your connections, how you may process certain situations. Most definitely. And this is just through all relationships. This doesn't feel geared towards so much a romantic connection. It could be a familial connection, friends, coworkers, even just how you process your feelings and go about things. You do feel as if you're comfortable. Some of you feel as if you're comfortable either being loners or being alone. So just really embracing this period of time and doing some shadow work will be highly beneficial for this month. It feels as if you'll find your passion, that spark again, and gear it more positively towards those things that are going to just allow you to no longer feel alone or left out or cast out in certain situations. And it says here, your divine energy is calling you to recognize your shadow and take responsibility for the pain and misery that it's inflicting upon you and others. Reach out for the help you need and be open to receiving love and support without causing drama, anger, fear, resistance, or negativity. Be easy on yourself and others. Open your heart. The darkness inside is seeking the light. Allow this. Take a deep breath and give things a break. Hello, Group B. So, let's unpack here. First and foremost, congratulations. You have new relationships and new opportunities coming towards you at this time. Okay? However, this may require that you make sacrifices, necessary sacrifices. So for the first two oracles here, it's going to be conveying what the Most High may want you to know, or your particular person, if you have a person in mind. It says be open to love, make necessary sacrifices. So I'm going to read a little bit of what it says here. You are attracting new and positive people into your life at this time. A new cycle is bringing in fresh energy and loving influences. Helpful and uplifting people are on their way now. It definitely feels as if you're drawn to Group B, you're making peace with your past so you can open yourself up to new. For this month, there may be an ex that may be tugging on your energy. Definitely feels like there's external energy playing a factor from the past coming into the present moment now. There could have been quite a transition between you and this person. Maybe you two are at a distance. Maybe you are considering traveling and being at a distance from this person. However that goes, I see there being a bit of tension, as well as this person may be tempting you to go their way. Now, this individual and you may not have the healthiest relationship. You're going to have to make a decision either to basically go with this temptation that's going to be presenting itself, or literally open yourself up to new environments, new people, new places, new things. I do feel as if a portion of you within this group, you'll definitely find your community. You may find, I don't know if you find a community online, or you literally go by a bookstore and they're having a poetry night or some form of a group gathering, women something or men something, however, right? And you find yourself going towards your people. Definitely if you're planning on traveling, you may go on a group travel trip or something of that sort soon, which will open you up to new experiences, new loves. It may require for you to sacrifice this individual, or perhaps whatever you were investing in that doesn't serve this greater purpose. I'm going to read a little bit of what it says. Your divine energy is calling you to sacrifice short-term conveniences for long-term gains. For every step you take toward your heart's desire, you must step away from the comfortable routine of the moment. The rewards are there if you make the effort. It may seem that what you must give up in order to attain your goals is too great to risk. But rest assured that in the end, your sacrifices will be rewarded many times over. It feels as if you're establishing something for yourself, perhaps a community. It could be stability, but it does feel as if it may come at a cost. It may come at the price of you sacrificing certain habits or certain people or a particular individual who may attempt to either travel to see you, or you're traveling to see them. You may have travel plans and things in mind where you want to go, because love, in essence, we are love. Love isn't always boy meets girl, or girl meets girl, however you go. But love isn't always that. Love is when we look in the mirror. Love is when we connect to what it is that we truly desire to do. So how this is manifesting, it feels in a few areas for you. Perhaps there is a long distance connection that you're wanting to reconnect with this person, and maybe it's like tension between you and this individual. It looks as if that would be highlighted this month. You two may come to some point where you're making sacrifices in order to be closer together. It may require for you to live in another country. It may require for you to live in another state. Now, for a portion of you, you may want to travel and get away from a toxic connection. And this is encouraging you to get away from that toxic connection. Yes, you should perhaps look at going to Portugal. Yes, Spain's looking great for the summer. Find your group. Find maybe a traveling group to go with. Familiarize yourself with other places, people, and things. And then there's a group of you where you're just reestablishing your peace. Maybe you spend a lot of time going back and forth with the idea of whether or not you should separate from an individual and start something new. This is definitely your invitation to make that sacrifice and open yourself up to new relationships. Open yourself up to receiving love. This month you may find yourself needing to make that decision. Definitely in a space where you're just making that decision. Like, do I want to repeat this cycle, or do I want something new for myself? And most definitely, this is your invitation to start that something new for yourself, however that looks in your situation. But it's definitely encouraging you to move out of your comfort zone and into a space that may be a little bit uncomfortable, because that's going to bring the most rewards and peace for you at this time. And it does feel like for a portion of you within this group, even if you're not at a distance from a person, you feel detached from someone that you love. And maybe it's like tugging away at you. You want to see this person, you want to be with them, and however the shoe fits, you're going to see this person again. If you're feeling disconnected from a person, if they're at a distance, you're going to reconnect with this person again. I'm not saying this month, but it looks like there's some action happening this month. I'll go ahead and let you know that. So perhaps maybe, but this could be also within yourself, making the decision to make the necessary sacrifices, to do what it takes to kind of put yourself in a position to receive love. Because let's say you guys do reconnect. Do you want them to meet you at your sadness? Or do you want them to meet you while you're pouring love into yourself? While you're enthusiastic about life? We reflect the love we give ourselves to others. This really feels like getting your fight back, but your fight back within yourself, where you're not in this world of confusion or illusions, or you can make a sound decision in terms of how you're going to move forward, whether it's within a connection or not within a connection, whether you're traveling and doing something that you love, or you're going with a person that you love. Being able to make that sound decision within yourself, getting your willpower back, however you stand for yourself, you're standing with a sound mind, spirit, body. So no matter what happens, it won't shake you, but you're prepared for it. Hello, Group C. So right off the bat, it feels as if you're drawn to this group, it could be like an earth sign in your sun or in your rising. This is really giving solid energy. Or you could have gone through something recently that really allowed you to wise up, settle down, to mature. You elevated in some sense. Now, in terms of your love life, I see where there's been this wave of emotions, and perhaps you are already connected to someone. This could be either someone you were in a long-term connection with and you disconnected from, or this is someone that you have been in a long-term connection with and you're considering disconnecting from. Perhaps they're just no longer in your speed. You're really hoping for drastic change in this situation. You've been feeling this way for quite some time emotionally. It's almost as if it's like you don't understand what they're not getting. You've said it, you've expressed it in so many ways, and you're just looking at this as almost like hopeless in a sense. But there's so much that you do feel as if you have gathered in your learning, even in your own practical life and within this connection. But I do see where there's just these waves of emotions that are in the current energy for this month. Now, in terms of the direction that this connection could go in, There appears to be a renewal of some sort. So this comes about with you nurturing. It feels as if yourself, your craft, whatever this is that you're invested in practically. This could as well be like a child, if you have children, just your stability, your groundedness, whatever you're doing for in your career path as well too. Nurturing that, it definitely seems as if just quite literally what this oracle says here as well too, with focusing on your success, focusing on the fruits of your labor, focusing on what you're creating, building, if it's a business, definitely, and taking what you've needed to learn from this situation, gather what you've needed to learn from this situation, and use it in a sense as leverage for this new beginnings, a foundation too for what you are creating. So I'm going to read a little bit of what it says here for the oracle. Your divine energy is calling you to respond to frustrations in a grounded, non-reactive manner and take nothing personally, good or bad. Instead, keep your focus exclusively on what you want to experience or attract. Use your divine energy to guide you through difficult passages. Your divine energy reminds you that the way to create the success in the outer world is by first creating success in your inner world. So definitely encouraging you not to react to a disappointment. So going along with what I was using as an example earlier, if you found yourself kind of just striving for a connection to get off the ground, to grow from a dull space, and it hasn't really been going anywhere, and you're wondering, what is this person really missing? So this is really encouraging you to more or less focus on what is working. So there looks as if within your love life this month, noticeable changes emotionally. You may be experiencing this just firsthand emotionally, but you're really being encouraged to tap into your maternal energy, nurturing just in traditions, family, and focusing more so on your stability, career as well too. And this will all flow accordingly. This could also be encouraging you to focus on what can change for the better in this connection as well too. Focus on what changes that you can make in this situation, and especially in your career. So it definitely feels as if there will be a transformation that may lead you out of this space emotionally where it may feel as if you've been in a cycle, to where you find yourself more disciplined in your approach to emotional matters, how you may process your feelings and how you may put how you feel into words. You have the key to whatever this is that could help transform this situation in your love life. And perhaps you're already doing the work, or it's going to be highlighted in the work that you're doing, but definitely focusing on your success at this time and knowing that this situation will turn out in your favor, and most certainly will. And you don't have to find yourself like just kind of feeling like you're feeding a situation that's not growing, or you're pouring into something that's really not moving whatsoever, because that is going to change. There's definitely going to be a transformation, rather noticeable, in your love life this month. And for this Queen of Pentacles, I'm going to read what it says. It says, there is no need to sacrifice. You can have it all. So I would definitely wear that as my mantra for this month. Definitely in love, there's no need to sacrifice, even if it's your career. If you're finding, okay, I'm going to do a work-life balance, definitely there's no need to sacrifice. You can have it all. It feels as if you've already made necessary sacrifices, or sacrifices. You could have felt drawn to a different group as well too, but you could feel as if you've already taken the steps that were needed in order to get you to this point emotionally. And I say that working in your favor this month too. And it looks as if that may manifest in someone getting the picture and whatever you were trying to present to them previously. It really feels as if you're setting the tone for yourself this month, for your values and what you're going for, what you're not going for, and knowing exactly what you deserve, how you deserve to be treated. You're emitting that energy this month, and it's only attracting those things that are going to be for your good. And it's also causing for there to be transformation on the back end as you're making a transformation.